Bruno Mars is officially counting down to his return to the United States, and the wait is almost over. In exactly 10 days, on August 21st, 2026, the romantic tour will return to the American stage at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, marking the beginning of the highly anticipated U.S. second half of the tour, also known as Leg 3. And this is not just another concert date. The August 21st show is already attracting enormous attention because Bruno Mars will be joined by two very special guests. Anderson Paak, performing as DJ P@WE, and RAYE. The combination has immediately created a wave of excitement among Bruno Mars fans, Silk Sonic fans, R&B lovers, pop music audiences, and concertgoers across the United States. After an extraordinary run of stadium performances overseas, Bruno Mars is finally preparing to bring the romantic tour back home. And if you have been following this tour from the beginning, you already know that Bruno Mars rarely returns to the stage quietly. Before we get into what could make the MetLife Stadium opening of the US leg so special, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment telling us where you will be watching Bruno Mars return to the United States. Are you going to MetLife Stadium, or will you be following the show online? Because the next 10 days could be one of the most exciting countdowns of the romantic tour. Bruno Mars has spent months building one of the biggest chapters of his live performance career. The romantic tour has taken him through massive stadiums, major international cities, sold-out crowds, unforgettable guest appearances, dramatic outfits, surprise moments, and performances that have generated enormous attention across social media. Now the story is moving into its next chapter, the United States, and the choice of MetLife Stadium as the opening destination for this second-half U.S. run makes the moment even more significant. East Rutherford, New Jersey, is about to become the center of the Bruno Mars universe once again. For fans who have followed the tour through Europe, the return to America represents more than simply another concert. It is the transition from one massive chapter to another. The European and UK portion of the romantic tour created countless memorable moments. Bruno Mars performed in some of the most recognizable stadiums on the continent, bringing his signature combination of pop, R&B, funk, soul, rock, and showmanship to audiences on an enormous scale. And now, after that intense international run, Bruno is preparing to step back onto American soil. The countdown is officially on. 10 days. That number suddenly feels very close. For months, fans have been waiting to see what the US version of the romantic tour will look like after Bruno's massive international performances. Will the setlist remain largely the same? Will there be changes? Could there be new surprises? Could the special guests create completely different moments? Those questions are exactly what make August 21st so interesting. And there is one name that immediately stands out: Anderson Paak. For Bruno Mars fans, the appearance of Anderson Paak carries an entirely different level of excitement because their musical partnership has already produced one of the most celebrated modern R&B projects through Silk Sonic. But this time, Anderson Paak will be appearing as DJ P.WE. That distinction matters. DJ P.WE represents a different side of Anderson Paak's musical identity. Known for his DJ performances and eclectic musical taste, the persona allows Anderson to bring a different energy to the stage, and putting DJ P.WE into the atmosphere of a Bruno Mars stadium concert could create some seriously unpredictable moments. Think about the possibilities. A massive stadium audience, Bruno Mars at the center of the romantic tour, Anderson Paak controlling the atmosphere as DJ P.WE, then add RAYE to the lineup. Suddenly, the opening night of the US leg becomes much more than a routine tour stop. RAYE has established herself as one of the most distinctive voices in contemporary pop and soul, known for powerful vocals, emotional songwriting, and a musical style that can move effortlessly between modern pop, jazz influences, R&B, and soul. Her presence alongside Bruno Mars and Anderson Paak creates a particularly interesting musical combination. 3 artists, 3 distinct identities, 1 enormous stadium, and 1 night that officially launches the next chapter of the romantic tour. That is why August 21st is becoming such an important date for fans. But there is another reason this return feels different. Bruno Mars is coming back to the United States after experiencing the scale of a stadium tour in Europe and the UK. That experience can change an artist's performance. Every city brings a different audience, but international stadium tours also create a different kind of confidence. Performing in front of tens of thousands of people night after night requires precision, stamina, timing, and the ability to create a connection even from the furthest seats in the stadium. Bruno Mars has spent this tour proving that he can do exactly that. And now he gets to bring that experience back to American audiences. The anticipation surrounding the romantic tour has also been fueled by Bruno's ability to turn a concert into something much bigger than a collection of songs. His shows are built around performance. The choreography, the musicianship, the band, the dancers, the lighting, the fashion, the crowd interaction, the transitions, the unexpected moments. Everything contributes to the feeling that the audience is watching a complete entertainment experience rather than simply attending a concert. And that is one of the reasons Bruno Mars continues to generate massive interest whenever a new tour date approaches. But here is where things get even more interesting. The August 21st show is not simply the first American performance after the European chapter. It is the first major opportunity for fans to see what Bruno has brought home with him. The romantic tour has evolved throughout its journey. Every performance adds another layer to the story. Fans have noticed changes in Bruno's presentation, his fashion, his interactions with audiences, his guest appearances, and the atmosphere surrounding individual performances. So when he walks onto the MetLife Stadium stage on August 21st, fans will naturally be watching closely. Not just listening, watching, looking for differences, looking for surprises, looking for clues about what the rest of the US leg could bring. And that is where the countdown becomes even more exciting. 10 days from now, the speculation ends. The lights will go down. The stadium will begin to erupt. Thousands of fans will raise their phones. The opening music will begin. And Bruno Mars will officially return to the US stage for the romantic tour. There is something powerful about that moment. The countdown to Bruno Mars' return to the United States is becoming more intense with every passing day. What makes this moment particularly interesting is that the romantic tour is not returning to America in exactly the same position it was in when the tour first began. Bruno Mars is coming back with an entire season of international performances behind him, and that experience has changed the scale of the story. When the US leg begins on August 21st, fans will not simply be watching the beginning of another series of concerts. They will be watching the next stage of a tour that has already created major moments across some of the world's biggest stadiums. That difference matters. Bruno has now had the opportunity to test the show in front of audiences with different cultures, different expectations, different musical traditions, and different reactions. Every city has added something to the experience. Now, all of that energy is coming back to the United States. And the first stop is MetLife Stadium. For fans in New Jersey and the surrounding New York metropolitan area, the anticipation is already becoming impossible to ignore. A Bruno Mars Stadium concert is already a major event, but opening the US second half with Anderson Paak performing as DJ Pee Wee and RAYE gives the night an entirely different identity. It creates a lineup that immediately attracts attention from multiple audiences. Bruno Mars fans will be there. Silk Sonic fans will be there. Anderson Paak fans will be there. RAYE fans will be there. R&B fans will be there. Pop fans will be there. And people who simply want to experience one of the biggest live entertainment events of the summer will also be watching. That mixture could produce an atmosphere unlike anything seen during the earlier stages of the tour. And this is where the story becomes even more fascinating. Because Bruno Mars has always understood that a concert is not just about the performer standing on a stage. It is about creating anticipation before the first song even begins. The crowd enters the stadium already knowing that something is coming. The lights begin to change. The conversations become louder. People start checking their phones. Fans begin recording. Then suddenly the stadium goes dark. For a few seconds, there is nothing but anticipation. And then the first sound hits. That moment can define an entire concert. On August 21st, that moment will also define the beginning of the US chapter of the romantic tour. And there is a strong possibility that fans will be watching every detail. What song opens the show? What does Bruno wear? How does he address the crowd? Does he reference the European and UK shows? Does he acknowledge the long journey? Does he mention returning home? Does Anderson Paak make an unexpected appearance during the main performance? Does RAYE join Bruno for a special moment? These are questions that cannot be answered until the night actually arrives. And that uncertainty is exactly what keeps the excitement alive. The most interesting live performances are often the ones where fans know the artist, know the songs, and still do not know exactly what is going to happen. That is the atmosphere surrounding MetLife Stadium. The closer August 21st gets, the more attention will naturally shift toward Bruno's return. Fans will revisit previous performances. They will compare different versions of songs. They will look back at moments from the European and UK leg. They will discuss the best outfits. They will debate the strongest performances. And they will speculate about whether the American shows could introduce new surprises. That conversation is already part of the experience. Because modern concert culture does not begin when the artist walks on stage. It begins weeks before the show. Fans share theories. They exchange tickets. They discuss travel plans. They create playlists. They post countdowns. They search for previous concert footage. They analyze every new photograph. And when the artist finally appears, social media becomes an extension of the stadium itself. Bruno Mars is particularly suited to that environment because his performances contain so many visually recognizable elements. His style, his choreography, his band, his dancers, his stage presence, his crowd interaction, his signature musical arrangements. All of these elements create moments that can quickly become viral clips. One performance can become a trending topic within minutes. One unexpected interaction can dominate fan discussions for days. One guest appearance can become the headline of an entire concert. And that is why Anderson Paak's involvement deserves special attention. Bruno Mars and Anderson Paak have a musical history that fans immediately recognize. Their Silk Sonic partnership demonstrated how naturally their personalities could work together. The chemistry was obvious. The humor was obvious. The musical connection was obvious. Their performances were built around a shared appreciation for classic soul, funk, R&B, and the theatrical traditions of legendary performers. Now, Anderson Paak returns to the Bruno Mars universe in another form. DJ P.We. That makes the situation especially intriguing. Instead of simply repeating what fans have already seen, Anderson brings a different musical identity to the evening. DJ P.We is known for creating an atmosphere. It is about selecting music, controlling energy, connecting different sounds, and keeping people moving. In a stadium setting, that role can be incredibly powerful. Before Bruno even takes center stage, Anderson can help establish the emotional temperature of the night. And that could make the transition into Bruno's performance even more dramatic. Then there is RAYE. Her presence adds another layer to the evening. As the final days of the countdown continue, attention is now turning toward what Bruno Mars' return could mean for the atmosphere surrounding the romantic tour. There is a different kind of excitement when a major tour returns to its home country. The audience already knows the artist, knows the biggest songs, and understands the performance style. But after watching Bruno Mars travel through international stadiums, American fans are now preparing to experience the latest version of the show in person. That makes the August 21st performance at MetLife Stadium particularly important. It is the first US show of this next chapter, and it will immediately establish the tone for everything that follows. The presence of Anderson Paak as DJ P.We adds another reason for fans to pay attention. His connection with Bruno Mars through Silk Sonic gives the night an additional layer of anticipation, while his DJ P.We persona allows him to bring a different kind of energy to the event. And then RAYE enters the picture. Her distinctive voice and modern soul influences create another musical contrast, giving the opening night a lineup that can appeal to fans across several genres. This combination makes the MetLife Stadium show feel less like a simple tour date and more like an event. For Bruno Mars, it is also another opportunity to demonstrate why his concerts continue to attract enormous attention. His performances are known for combining musicianship with spectacle. The band, choreography, lighting, dancers, vocals, and audience interaction all contribute to the experience. But perhaps the most important ingredient is Bruno himself. His ability to move between different musical styles allows the concert to constantly change its energy. One moment can feel intimate, the next can become explosive. A slower, emotional performance can suddenly transition into a massive dance moment. That constant movement keeps audiences engaged from beginning to end. And this is exactly what fans will be looking for when the US leg begins. They will not simply be listening to familiar songs. They will be watching for the details that make this particular chapter different. Could there be changes to the presentation? Could Bruno introduce unexpected moments? Could the guest lineup create interactions that fans have never seen before? Those possibilities are enough to keep the conversation alive during the countdown. Meanwhile, the anticipation surrounding Anderson Paak is likely to remain one of the biggest talking points. For many fans, seeing Bruno Mars and Anderson Paak connected to the same stadium event immediately brings Silk Sonic memories back into the conversation. The duo created a unique musical identity that blended classic R&B and funk influences with modern production and unmistakable stage chemistry. Even though Anderson is appearing as DJ P.We for this event, fans will naturally be watching closely for any connection between the two artists. That could be a simple interaction, could be a shared moment backstage, could be something unexpected on stage, or it could simply be the atmosphere created by having two artists with such a strong musical history involved in the same night. Whatever happens, fans will be paying attention. And that is one of the defining characteristics of Bruno Mars' biggest performances. The audience watches, the internet watches, music media watches, and every memorable moment can quickly become part of the wider conversation. The same could happen with RAYE. Her appearance gives the opening night another potential highlight and introduces her music to an audience that may include thousands of Bruno Mars fans who are already familiar with pop, soul, and R&B. The result is a night with several different musical identities coming together. And that is exactly what makes live music exciting. No matter how much fans speculate before the show, the real experience begins only when the artists step onto the stage. By then, the countdown will be finished. The theories will be replaced by reality. And the first US chapter of the romantic tour will finally be underway. For fans who have followed every major development of the tour, this return represents another milestone. The tour has already traveled across major cities. It has filled enormous venues. It has produced unforgettable performances. Now the journey is returning to the United States with an even greater sense of momentum. And that momentum could become one of the most important elements of the next chapter. Because Bruno Mars is not returning to America as the same performer who began the tour. He is returning with months of stadium experience behind him. He has performed in front of massive crowds night after night. He has refined the production. He has experienced different audiences. And he has accumulated countless moments that can now influence the next stage of the tour. That is why August 21st could feel like both a beginning and a continuation. It is a new chapter, but it carries everything that came before it. The memories, the performances, the reactions, the excitement, the lessons, all of it arrives at MetLife Stadium. And when Bruno finally walks onto the stage, fans will be watching more than just a concert. They will be watching the return of the romantic tour to American soil. The atmosphere inside the stadium could become something special. Thousands of people singing together, fans holding phones above their heads, the sound of the band filling the venue, the lights moving across the audience, and Bruno Mars standing at the center of it all. That is the image fans have been waiting for. The countdown may have started with a number, but it is now becoming a story. 10 days becomes 9, 9 becomes 8, then 7, then 6, and suddenly, August 21st is here. That is when the next chapter begins. And while nobody can predict every detail of opening night, the anticipation itself is already creating a powerful moment for fans around the world. The romantic tour is coming back to the United States. MetLife Stadium is waiting, and Bruno Mars is preparing to step back onto an American stadium stage. The next few days will only make the anticipation stronger. And when the lights finally go out, everyone will find out what Bruno Mars has prepared for the next chapter. There is now another layer to the anticipation surrounding Bruno Mars and the romantic tour. The closer the US return gets, the more fans are beginning to look beyond the first night and think about the bigger picture. August 21st is only the starting point. The MetLife Stadium performance will open the next chapter, but the real story will unfold across the shows that follow. Every city will bring a different crowd, a different atmosphere, and potentially a different set of unforgettable moments. That is what makes the return to the United States so important. Bruno Mars has already demonstrated what the romantic tour can become on an international stage. Now the challenge is to bring that same level of energy back to American audiences while continuing to keep the experience fresh. For a superstar who has spent years building a reputation for spectacular live performances, that balance is crucial. Fans want the songs they know. They want the moments they have been waiting for. But at the same time, they want something they cannot experience by simply listening to a studio album. They want the unexpected. They want the feeling of being inside the room when something special happens. That is where a stadium concert can become more than entertainment, can become a memory. And the August 21st show has all the ingredients to create one. The location alone is significant. MetLife Stadium has hosted some of the biggest names in entertainment, and filling a venue of that scale requires an artist capable of connecting with an enormous audience. Bruno Mars has spent years developing that ability. His music is recognizable almost instantly, and his performances are designed to work on a massive scale without losing the personality that made his music popular in the first place. That combination is difficult to achieve. A stadium can make an artist look small. The stage is enormous. The audience can stretch far beyond the performer. But Bruno's performance style is built around movement, rhythm, personality, and interaction that allows him to control the atmosphere even when thousands of people are watching from the furthest sections of the venue. And that will be tested again on August 21st. The audience will not simply be waiting for Bruno to perform. They will become part of the performance. Every scream, every lyric, every reaction can change the atmosphere inside the stadium. This is particularly important when an artist returns to the United States after a major international tour. American fans have been watching clips from overseas. They have seen the costumes. They have seen the stage. They have watched viral moments. They have followed the performances online. Now they finally have the opportunity to experience the show themselves. That can create an incredible level of anticipation. And then there is Anderson Paak. His presence ensures that the opening night will have another musical dimension before Bruno even takes over the main stage. As DJ P.We, Anderson can bring a completely different atmosphere to the event. For longtime fans, his appearance will naturally trigger memories of Silk Sonic. For newer fans, it may introduce them to another side of Anderson's musical personality. Either way, his involvement is significant. And when you add RAYE to the lineup, the musical diversity becomes even more interesting. RAYE has built a reputation for delivering emotionally powerful performances and blending contemporary pop with soul, jazz, and R&B influences. Her presence creates an opening environment that can move through different sounds before the main event begins. That makes the evening feel like a complete musical experience rather than a single performance surrounded by supporting acts. And perhaps that is exactly what Bruno wants from the opening of the US leg. A night that feels bigger than a normal tour date. A night that immediately tells fans that the next chapter is here. There is also a sense of curiosity surrounding the production itself. After performing across Europe and the UK, will Bruno make any changes for the American shows? That question alone will keep fans watching. Tour productions often evolve as they move from one region to another. Some elements remain consistent because they are central to the show. Other elements can change depending on the venue, schedule, guest lineup, or creative direction. Fans will naturally be looking for those differences. A different transition, a new outfit, a different introduction, a surprise musical moment. Even the smallest change can become a major topic when thousands of fans are watching. And once the first show ends, social media will amplify everything. Short clips will appear. Fan reactions will spread. Concert photographs will circulate. People who were not there will experience pieces of the performance through their phones. That is how modern stadium concerts become cultural moments. The audience inside the venue creates the experience, but the audience online extends it. And Bruno Mars has one of the strongest catalogs for that kind of environment. His biggest songs are instantly recognizable. His performances are visually engaging. His stage presence creates moments that can easily be captured in short clips. And his collaborations give fans additional reasons to pay attention. That means the August 21st performance could generate conversations far beyond the stadium itself. It could become a major topic among Bruno Mars fans across social media platforms. It could bring Silk Sonic discussions back into the spotlight because of Anderson Paak's involvement. It could introduce RAYE to new audiences. And it could create another major chapter in Bruno's live performance history. But perhaps the most important part is what happens emotionally. After following the tour through so many cities, fans finally get to see Bruno return to the United States. There is a sense of homecoming attached to that. The tour has traveled far. Now it is back. The stage is familiar. The audience is familiar. The music is familiar. But the circumstances are completely new. Bruno is returning with the experience of an international stadium performer. That creates a fascinating contrast. The American audience knows Bruno Mars, but this version of Bruno has been shaped by everything that happened during the tour. That is why the US leg could feel different even if many elements of the production remain recognizable. The confidence, the timing, the energy, the crowd interaction, the experience of performing in enormous venues. All of those elements can influence how an artist approaches the stage, and fans will be watching for it. There is also a larger question about how the romantic tour will be remembered. Every major tour eventually becomes part of an artist's legacy. Years later, fans do not remember every individual night. They remember the defining moments, the iconic venues, the surprise appearances, the unforgettable performances, the songs everyone sang together, the moments that became viral, the images that came to represent the era. The US chapter now has the opportunity to create some of those memories. And it starts with MetLife Stadium. That is why the August 21st date carries so much anticipation. It is not simply the next stop. It is the opening statement of the next chapter. Bruno Mars is returning to the United States. Anderson Paak is joining the event as DJ P.We. RAYE is also part of the lineup. The stage is prepared. The fans are waiting. And the countdown is almost over. Soon, there will be no more need to imagine what the atmosphere will feel like. Fans will hear the crowd. They will see the lights. They will hear the first notes. They will watch Bruno step onto the stage. And at that exact moment, the next chapter of the romantic tour will officially begin. Until then, the anticipation continues to build. Every passing day brings August 21st closer. And when the countdown finally reaches 0, Bruno Mars will once again have the opportunity to prove why his live performances remain such a major part of his global appeal. The US return is coming. The stadium is waiting. And the next chapter is almost here.